What's going on, everybody? I thought I'd make a quick update to yesterday. When I left off, I was still sitting at that shipper. About 3:30 yesterday afternoon, a company driver came in bobtail looking for my empty that I was still attached to, which was still empty because the load was never released and whatever. Yeah. So I called into Schneider, find out what was going on. The person I spoke to called customer service, and they came back. Customer service said to remove the load from me because they weren't getting any positive responses from the customer. But the reason the company driver was sent over to get my empty, the truck showed GPS departed. I never moved. From the time I got there at 8 o'clock in the morning, I was parked in the same exact parking spot until yesterday afternoon, when they finally decided enough was enough and they pulled the load. I will get that detention money for sitting there all day, which isn't much, but at this point every little bit helps. It's better than nothing. It's better than zero. So what I did is, because I still wasn't finding anything on the load board, I went ahead and gave the empty to that company driver and bobtailed back to the terminal where I'm at now. But yeah, that GPS depart, I knew when it happened because I got that little, the little round orange exclamation point or whatever. And when I looked at it to see what had changed, it was telling me that I can't go out of order on the workflow, because what had happened is when it GPS departed me, it GPS departed me from the shipper in workflow. So I sent a message at that time, and I still have the message on the Qualcomm, letting them know that no, I had not left and I was still sitting at that location. Again, somebody didn't look at something, I guess, and that's hence how the company driver ended up over there looking for my trailer, or the empty trailer. So it is what it is. I got back to the terminal last night. I was gonna try to have them look at the Qualcomm with this ongoing issue that I'm having, which I guess other people are having too. But to have the equipment looked at, you have to have a work order in the system from technical support for the shop to look at it, according to the shop here. So I couldn't get a hold of anybody. It was 4:30 when I was trying to get a hold of them. I guess everybody cut out early on a Friday because I couldn't get a hold of a soul. Not a soul. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'll keep moving and just use paper logs whenever this thing screws up. I've gotten the message. I know they're still working on these problems, and it's temporary patch. I am still not 100% convinced that my problem is totally related to that. But if anybody else is having sensor failure issues, let me know, because that's exactly what this keeps telling me, sensor failure issues. Failed sensor. I keep getting that red little Delightful little triangle box popping up, blinking at me. Real quick, I am going to post a picture of that message on this other person's in-cab device. I'll post it right here. Yeah, listen, I appreciate the comments. I didn't mean to stir a pot. I know that there's, I know there's multiple levels to Schneider, and I know they have freight, other avenues. I think I haven't explained why I have an issue with it completely, obviously. And to me, and again, it's just me. It's my opinion. No one else's. I'm not trying to change anything. Obviously, it's been done like this for a very long time, and the status quo has been fine for a lot of people. But like yesterday, the other Schneider IC driver that ended up not waiting and left when his load wasn't ready, speaking with him, if there's all this other freight out there, I don't understand why it's all Schneider. You can separate it by whatever buildings you want to. This is still all one company under one umbrella. And if they have freight available, would it not make sense to have that freight available to the people that are here doing what we do? That freight, to me, in fairness, should be available to everybody within Schneider that runs this load board. Just saying. You can offer that freight to other companies. That's not the issue. The issue is if there's freight available, why are we not seeing it and they're offering it to a third-party companies? I know a lot of people have, it'd be nice to have a broader base to choose from. In those instances, especially when something happens like yesterday, and now you're scrambling to try to find something, to keep you moving. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm not saying it's they're being shisty. I just think in fairness that if they would offer this freight that's obviously on these other boards to us, I don't see why that's not happening. I don't. I get it. They can offer that freight to anybody they want to. That's not the point of the conversation, and I guess I've been saying it wrong. I guess. I'm not the greatest speaker in the world. I'm not a Rhodes Scholar. Sometimes I talk in a circle. I get that. That was my point. When there's days that I'm having trouble finding freight and other freight's being offered on other venues that I don't have access to, as a Schneider IC driver, that's my point. It is what it is. It's just, that's my point. Why would that freight not be offered to all of us? So yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that makes it any better or worse. I seem to have ruffled feathers with the comment. I'm not naive to think that Schneider doesn't offer, because I know from watching some of the Landstar stuff that I've watched, there's Schneider freight there. There's Schneider freight there. And no, these companies aren't picking off our exact same load board. I did state that wrong, but it's Schneider freight that should be on our load board. It's being picked off whatever other load board Schneider puts it on. So if I've irritated anyone with what I've said on this, hey, my apologies. My apologies. That was not my goal. Not trying to start a revolution here. But, and again, I can't negotiate the freight that they put on our load board. But the freight they put on other load boards is negotiable. To me, that's not right either. And it's really not. You're kind of put in a box in this program. And it's not a bad box. It's spacious. It's got 4 walls. But you're still put in a box. And you're restricted to what you see and get. And yeah, I know you can go and see the rates. They can't not show you the total rate. I just wish I didn't have to go through 4 channels and 5 phone calls to get that information. I know I can look at it. I wish the total rate would be in the load somewhere, just so you could have a clue. Because you gotta, obviously, the way this program's set up, there's like, there's a cut, and then what's left is what's there. Which you deal with the same thing when you're dealing with a broker on, say, Landstar's load board. The broker's getting a cut, but you're seeing a total rate left, and you can negotiate that. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna get off the subject. This is it. But yeah, I'm gonna show that picture. It shows the information I was speaking to, because I don't want anyone to think, not that it matters, but this is what I seen. This is what you're gonna see, or should have seen by now, in this video, and that's it. Ta-da. Ta to the da. But last night I got back to the terminal. Again, I was going to put the truck in the shop. I jumped back on the load board, and I don't know what happened. I really don't. And again, this is going to probably sound conspiracy theory bound, but yesterday, the whole time I said the shipper, I kept running through the load board and refreshing it, trying to find something, because there was a point where I wasn't going to sit there anymore, and I couldn't find anything. So what I did when I got back here last night, I was going to go home. And sleep in my own bed, and continue to try to find something I could grab and take off with. I live, 15 minutes from here. So when I got here last night, I jumped on the load board after I couldn't get a hold of technical help, and just started looking. And lo and behold, there's freight available. Not 1, not 2. There's freight available. And I don't know where it came from. Don't care. But here it is. Ta-da. So I was able to get a load out of the terminal. It is a relay. I got that load. And then I got another load taking this load to Illinois, and then I got another load out of Illinois coming back south. So yeah, and those two loads together will help a great deal. So, you know, so yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. They're redoing the terminal in here, so it's kind of a mess. Which it needed it. It's dated, but yeah. So that, you know, in closing this video, I'm just gonna say again, I appreciate the information. If I'm putting out misinformation, I stand to be corrected. And again, it's appreciated. I'm not looking to argue with anybody. It's YouTube. I'm not looking to get into any back and forth drama crap. That's just not what I'm not going to do that. It is what it is. If you don't like the content, I'm an adult. I can be spoke to like an adult, and I will try to treat everyone with respect. But again, you know, these are videos are my opinion. It's information I have, and I don't know everything. Don't claim to. And if someone knows, you know, I appreciate when they respond with that information. You know, before I start doing the arguing back and forth thing, I will stop doing videos. That's just, I'm not going to do that. You know, we got plenty of guys on YouTube more than willing to play the drama shit all day. That's fine. If you have a problem with what I said, I would hope that you would correct it if it's wrong. Making accusations. You don't know me, I don't know you. It's just as simple as that. We don't know each other except for what's on here, or the one, you know, the people that I do speak to. And I mean, there's too much of this in the world that people are ready to jump down other people's, you know, throats or run at them with whatever comments without stopping to, you know, stopping to think. You know, people just, you know, the first reaction for a lot of people is and that makes no sense. There's a way that people can speak to each other. I know it's not always going to be possible, but again, that's not what I'm trying to do here. I found out some information. I passed it along. The information is not incorrect, as the picture you've seen shows. Did I uncover the Holy Grail? No, I didn't. It was just news to me. It threw me a little bit at first, because I was under the impression, and that might have been naive, but I was under the impression that whatever freight Schneider had was available to me. And I was not aware that the freight they offer on other avenues was negotiable to those drivers. So, that being said, I appreciate you guys taking time. Be safe, and we'll talk to you.